right, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Today is June 4th, 2026, and you are attending the Planning Commission regular hearing this evening. First and foremost, we do want to thank all the planning commissioners that were able to make it out this evening. And we want to thank the applicant and the community for showing up. This is an extremely important part of the process to make sure that you guys are engaged. Because ultimately this is all of our community, so we want to make sure that you understand that your voices are heard and your voices are respected in this process. My name is, I'm Commissioner Dante Philpott. I am the current chair for this Planning Commission. And we are going to go through our roll call to ensure that we have a quorum. So planning commissioners, when you hear your name, please say aye or present to acknowledge your presence. So first and foremost, my name is Commissioner Dante Philpott, and I am here. Commissioner Robin Meyer.
Here.
Commissioner Kim Blunt.
Present.
Commissioner Cheryl Davis. Commissioner Gerard Jeter is not here. Commissioner Munzir Nakwi.
Present.
And last but not least, Commissioner Carl Valenzuela.
Present.
Let the record show that we do have a quorum this evening. All right, and on our agenda, we will move to item number 3, which is the approval of minutes. So as a body, we did receive the minutes for us to review prior to this evening's meeting. Hopefully, we've all had the opportunity to review them. I didn't see any internal communication where we were calling out any edits that needed to be made, but I will open it for discussion if there are any edits, additions, subtractions, anything that need to be made to the May meeting minutes. And if there is no discussion, then we can entertain a motion to approve the minutes.
I so move.
All right, we have a motion to approve the May meeting minutes from Commissioner Robin Meyer. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
We have a second from Commissioner Valenzuela. Again, any discussion? No discussion. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed, say nay. The ayes have it. So we will move from, oh, was that me? Oh, I'm sorry. So we will move to the next item on the agenda, which is organizational and procedural items. So I will turn it over to you, Latima. Item number 4, organizational and procedural items. I don't recall there being any, but if there's something that we need to be made aware of.
Not to my knowledge. There's nothing that we need to be aware of. It was added on the agenda by mistake.
Okay. All right. In all fairness, I will open it for if there's any discussion for item number 4. If not, we can move to the next item on the agenda. But before we do that, again, any discussion for item 4, organizational and procedural items? No discussion? Okay. So we will move to item number 5, any unfinished business. I don't think there is, but.
Not to our knowledge, no, there's no unfinished business.
Okay. And so with that, we will move to item number 6, 6A, which is TLUP 2025-004, 245 Honeycutt. So what I'd like to do before we move into this particular application is to kind of go over what we like to call the house rules. We want to make sure that the meetings are as efficient and as productive, not only for the Planning Commission, but also for the community as you guys show up. So essentially how this goes is, each case is called in numerical order. When the case is called, we ask that the applicant please stand and raise their hand to show that they are here. At that point, we will call to see if there's anyone that's opposed to the case. We would ask that anyone that's opposed to the case, please stand and raise your hand so that you can be counted for the record. We will do the same for anyone that is in support of the case. The applicant will present the case first, and then opposition, if any, will essentially testify second. Each side will be allowed 10 minutes to state their case or concerns. There is not a rebuttal process during this period, so please make sure that you convey all of the information to the Planning Commission within your 10-minute period. Additionally, if there's more than one person that wants to speak in support of or in opposition to any particular case, we ask that you coordinate with each other about the points that you're going to speak about, because again, you only get 10 minutes. And you may or may not want to cover the same information more than once. After both sides have had the opportunity to present during that 10-minute period, the Planning Commission, we will discuss the case amongst ourselves or before us. Within that discussion, the Planning Commission may request that any particular speaker or the applicant come back to the podium for additional questions to provide clarity to the Planning Commission, should we have it. After that, the Planning Commission, we will make a recommendation, and the key word here is recommendation. That is our part. That recommendation will then go to the City Council for them to render a final ruling. Again, well, I'll say it this way. What we ask of everyone is to either turn your cell phones off or put them on mute. Because given the small size of the meeting room, for anyone, cell phones going off can be a bit of a distraction. Also, we ask that you limit any side conversations so that the staff, as well as the Planning Commission, we can focus on the comments and the questions that are being raised either by the Planning Commission or staff or someone from the community. If you need to have a side conversation, we would kindly ask that you guys step out into the lobby, again, to minimize and limit as many distractions as possible, because it pulls our attention away from the applicant or staff or the presentation that's being given when we can see and or hear side conversations, cell phones, so on and so forth. Also, if there are if anyone is, and we'll also go over this part here, if there's anyone that has made any kind of contribution to an applicant, we'll vet that out as well, just so that way we have it for the record. I think that's pretty much it. So Latima, I'll turn it over to you and you can start the presentation.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and good evening, Planning Commission members and members of the community. My name is Latima Richards. I am the city planner for the city of Mableton, and I will be presenting Mr. Ortega's application for TLUP 2025-004. I know, just to address a concern about this application, we have talked about this application last month, but due to a legal ad error, we have to redo the application. I know that you guys already made a decision on that one, the last meeting, but we do have to make sure that we're doing this the right way as far as legal advertisement going out at proper timings, and as well as the applicant having to do a rehearing for his application. All right. So as discussed, the application is a temporary land use permit to operate a dog sitting business at 245 Honeycutt Road. The property is 1.2 acres. If you could go to the next slide, please. Thank you. The property is 1.2 acres. It is located within District 3 by Councilman Keisha Jeffcoat, and the future land use designation is low density residential. As I stated, it is a temporary land use to operate a dog sitting service. The applicant stated that he will be doing premium supervised pet sitting services through the hours of operation from 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. Monday through Friday. At the time this application was submitted, those were the hours that the applicant has advised. I do not know if the applicant has decided to adjust those hours, but if he has, I hope he can relay that to you tonight. According to the tax assessors, the property is one structure with 3 accessory structures on it. So you have the main primary residence, and then you have the detached carport, garage, and breezeway, as you can see on the aerial view. So this is the primary residence, that's the breezeway and the garage, and over here is where the carport is located. All right. So there is a zoning petition on this property. It was done in 2021. It's 2021 Z-69, which essentially was to allow for a single-family subdivision. To our knowledge, that has not been updated or has proceeded forward with the subdivision. All right. This application did come as a code compliance complaint, and that complaint was essentially a potential unlicensed business operations going on at the subject property with outdoor storage of multiple trucks and trailers. So following the issuance of the NOV, or notice of violation, I should say, sorry. Following the notice of violation, the applicant did come to the Planning Commission to attempt to get his business license. And through the process of him having clients come to the property, that normally is away from what is essentially a home occupation. So when we're looking at home occupations, that means that it has to be an administrative office. So if he's attempting to bring clients to his property, this is the reason why he has to get a temporary land use permit. So again, home operations typically are administrative offices that clients do not come to the property. But if clients are to come to the property, they have to apply for a temporary land use permit. As of right now, we do not know whether the applicant has achieved his kennel license. I believe I mentioned that during last meeting, that because there is overnight stays at the property for the dogs, that technically deem it as a dog kennel facility, and being that is single family residential, the zoning for the property is single family residential. That's usually allowed in light industrial or heavy industrial areas. And as you can see, these are the site photos for the property. This is the gate that the applicant stated that he has for the dogs at the time of this application being submitted, where this is where he'll supervise them and also make sure that they do not get loose out on the property. The dogs typically are in this specific area as far as where they're roaming throughout the day whenever he's walking them. So they're typically all around the property, but sometimes they mainly are right here towards the front gate. And as you can see, this is the outdoor storage that I mentioned before. Next slide. All right, so these are the zoning criterias. I've briefly mentioned it already as far as what exactly is compatible with a temporary land use permit. So the criteria is essentially asking whether the use is compatible with the surrounding properties. The issue is that it's not. There are homes that have a business license that are home occupations, but they're typically administrative offices. So they're doing their billing, their taxing. So we're looking at low activity with the addition of the dogs that may increase the activity in the neighborhood, because the applicant has stated that he generally supervises around 10 to 15 dogs a day. All right, and therefore planning staff recommends denial solely because of the intensity of the neighborhood, and also that it's not permitted for a residential property. It's normally, again, permitted during the light industrial or heavy industrial areas for essentially a dog kennel facility. And that concludes my presentation. I'm here if you guys have any questions, and the applicant is also here if you have any questions.
Okay. So, the applicant is here, Mr. Ortega. Let's do this. Do we have anyone from the community that is in support of this application? If so, raise your hand. Okay. Let the record show that there are 3 people from the community in support of. And quite the opposite. Do we have anyone from the community that's in opposition to this application? Let the record show that there's one. Okay. All right. So, Mr. Ortega, so again, just to kind of reiterate, anyone in support of will have 10 minutes. Anyone in opposition to will have 10 minutes. Since there are 3 of you outside of the applicant, you guys can decide how you want to split that time, whether it's one person or all three of you guys split it equally. It's totally up to you, Mr. Ortega. You'll fit in with that. Same thing with the opposition. You'll have 10 minutes. You can choose to use it all, or it's totally up to you how you want to do it. So at this point, we can call the applicant, Mr. Ortega. If you have anything that you want to present, and again, minding the fact that you have 10 minutes that you're going to share with the three people here that are in support of the application. And you can go ahead and go to the podium, and we'll let you know when to start, because we'll have a timekeeper. I'm sorry? Oh, I'm sorry. I apologize for that. Can we entertain a motion to open the hearing for public comment?
So moved.
Excuse me. Motion to open for public comment by Commissioner Meyer. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second from Commissioner Valenzuela. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Any opposed, say nay. No opposition. Okay, we are now open for public comment. Whenever you're ready.
Good evening. I'm Kevin Ortega, as you know. I am a small home-based business owner for pet sitting. And I understand that there's zoning concerns regarding the current use of my property. I'm here in good faith seeking guidance and authorization to operate while pursuing a long-term compliance with the city. The operation is structured, appointment-based, and I'm fully willing to comply with reasonable conditions while also observing regarding the number of dogs, hours, parking, outdoor activities, etc. I do appreciate the opportunity to work with you, the Planning Commission, and the City of Mableton. As you know, I've been pet sitting for a while, and I do everything by appointment. People have known me for many, many years. People use my property because they want a house, they want a home, they don't want a facility, they don't want a 4x4 VIP suite where the dogs do their potty needs in that space. As you know, I am with the dogs 7 days a week. I'm there most of the day, every day. And I know that I receive most of my customers within the 8 to 6 time frame. I introduce everyone one by one initially based on multiple factors, including gender, spay-neuter status, age, size, temperament, personality. I slowly integrate everyone together. I show the pet owners videos and photos of how their dogs are doing and getting along with others. I let them know how they're doing, sleeping, behaving, eating, digesting, so on and so forth. I'm a certified pet sitter with the National Association of Professional Pet Sitters. I am insured with the Business Insurers of the Carolinas. I have recently applied to the City of Mableton business license and also completed the inspection by the Department of Agriculture yesterday morning. I am still waiting for them to email me forms to sign and notarize. I am to follow up with them tomorrow if I don't hear from them by the end of the day. The property was also inspected by Officer Lamar in January. And let's see. Previously, there were concerns over the time required by my mobile grooming business, which is separate from my pet sitting. It is not conducted at my property. It is not conducted by me. I do not groom. I simply help my groomers take care of the pets. I can do almost everything from home, and everything that I cannot, I usually anticipate and plan for ahead of time. And I build redundancies to minimize any time that I need to leave the property. The fence, the health of the fence is structured and sound. It is of good health. It was inspected again by Officer Lamar and myself in January, and I do inspect it daily. I'm mindful of the excitement that my guests might have with each other as far as volume and interacting with one another. I do not encourage humping. I do not encourage over excitement, over volume. I may separate dogs. I may give them different exercises and activities to get their energy out. and I can try again with the same crowds if applicable and if there's time. The guests are definitely not furniture. They do not look like it. They do not behave like it. They have ample time outside, ample time inside, in and out of crates. Again, based on how I introduce them to one another, and oftentimes because like most people, I also do paperwork and admin stuff. If I have to do things inside, usually they are often out of their own volition, where they're not seeking attention. They do go into the crate out of their own self-interest. Everyone is fed separately in the morning or the evening, if applicable, based on the age and the supplies provided by the pet owners. And I reiterate, I'm trying to find some guidance and authorization to continue pet sitting, and also enhance myself to achieve long-term compliance with the city. And also, can you scroll back 1 or 2 slides, please? Or actually ahead. One more, I think. Keep going forward. That. The bullet points, please. Hopefully, I've been addressing to you the safety, health, and welfare of all. Sit back to the
Podium so we can hear you.
Of my guests. I supervise everyone. I report anything that happens, whether they scratch themselves or have abnormal discharges of the eyes, digestion, etc. Parking and traffic, I inform all of my pet owners that they have to arrive by a certain time for certain reasons, especially because I cannot block the road adjacent to my driveway. There is no unrelated employees. I am the sole operator. I'm not trying to overpopulate my property with guests. I do cap it. There are other projects in the future that I'm trying to do outside of my property. So I'm not trying to bring more people to work there. I'm aware that I am in a neighborhood. Commercial and business deliveries, when there's money, I might use Amazon. I don't use DoorDash, so the finances are not perfect, so I rarely even order deliveries to my place. And I understand points 5 and 6. For now, that concludes what I want to share with you, and I appreciate your time once again.
Thank you. Okay, so there's 3 minutes, 15 seconds left. This is, again,
I'll take up 30 minutes or more.
you guys can decide how you want to share it.
Hello, my name is Cheryl Lanham. I am a client of his, and he takes a really good job of taking care of the pets. He's very diligent and understanding and very patient with us. He even cuts their nails and does all of that together. So we wouldn't want to lose that type of person. When you trust someone with a pet, which is a friend of the family, that's part of our family, in my opinion, is our pets are. And so Dixie absolutely loved him in every way, shape, or form, and we really appreciate him. I've known him with the Marietta Business Association for several years, and so we really trust and think that that is an asset to the city of Mableton. Thank you.
Thank you. So just be mindful, 2 minutes, 38 seconds left.
Ladies and gentlemen, good evening. I'm Thomas Evans. I'm at over here on Dillon Road, not far from us. And we've been using Kevin since Bullard at Austell stopped boarding animals. So now we've got no place in Mableton other than maybe Happy Paws way down there in Smyrna to take, and which is very expensive to have to have Charlie taken care of. We've got a Great Dane that's very kind. Every time we drop him off at Kevin's, there's no parking problems there. There's no traffic considerations there. It's open. We've been the only ones there every time we drop off or pick up Charlie. The dogs aren't outside barking. carrying on, creating chaos in the neighborhood. It's always been a professional operation, and from this combat vet, both Afghanistan and Iraq, we need we need people like this in our community. He's an upstanding young man. He's here to do his little home business, not some kind of I mean, look at the man. He's a good, he's a fine, upstanding young man, and needs, he's just trying to make a living for himself. And I welcome his involvement in his business in the community. So as far as Charlie, we've had to take care of, make sure that his medical records are all up to date. Every time we pick him up, he's not come home with a cough, no problems whatsoever. Every time I put him in at Bullard, Charlie come home with a cough or some kind of flu. So he's well taken care of. The place is clean. It doesn't smell like dog manure or anything. It's clean. It's healthy. Charlie doesn't have to go in a kennel. Sleeps right there on his bed. Kevin's right there close to Kevin, and I don't know what the denial thing is here, but it sounds like a vendetta to me. So, because there's not a thing wrong with this young man or his business. That's all I got to say. Thank you.
Thank you, and thank you for your service.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so we have, what was it like 18? So hold on just a second. So point of privilege, planning commissioners, can we add another 90 seconds for this young lady to make her voice heard? Because I want to make sure that you don't walk away and feel like you didn't get the opportunity to speak. Okay, so can we entertain a motion to add another 90 seconds to allow this last person to, I'll make the motion. I'll make a motion to add another 90 seconds to allow one more person to speak in support of this application. Can we get a second?
Second.
Okay, we have a second from Commissioner Blunt. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed say nay. The ayes have it. 90 seconds have been added. Please step to the podium. Thank you, commissioners.
Hi, my name is Cindy Evans, and we take Charlie to be there. He is a dog that is used to being with somebody 24 hours a day and has never been caged. This is the only place that we've ever been to that our needs are met. Or like my husband said, our dog has come back with coughs and flus and things like that. We have ordered him several other places. He is very professional. He sends us emails. He sends us videos. I've never sent my dog anywhere where I have so much communication when I have to be somewhere about knowing the care and the well-being of our child. He's like our child. Charlie's more of a people person than he doesn't think he's a dog. So he's treated more like people, and we need people like Kevin to take care of. Some dogs need extra care, extra loving, knowing that they're there and so forth, and not put in a kennel at night and somebody comes back and checks on them again in the morning. I know you all wouldn't want your animals like that. We don't want our animals like that. Kevin doesn't do that. So to me, it's an asset to anybody that's in the Mableton or Cobb County community, especially having a bigger dog. I cannot put my big dog in a little cage like that. It's just inhumane to me. Especially when that's what they're used to. And he does take care of their needs. We bring everything that he's needed. And Kevin takes excellent care. And I have told anybody and everybody about this gentleman, how well
Time.
it is.
Thank you. We appreciate it. So that's everyone in support of the application. We do have one person that is here to speak in opposition to the application. Since we did add 90 seconds to 90 additional seconds for support, it's only fair to add additional 90 seconds for opposition. If the person chooses to use it, it's totally up to them, but we want to make sure that we do this fair across the board. Are we ready? Okay. You can step to the podium.
Yes, my name's Steve Yonkin with the Mableton Improvement Coalition Zoning Committee, and we recommend you deny this application for several reasons. Number one is this business is not suitable for a teetle up in a residential area. It's a kennel, and I believe that's only light industrial or heavy industrial. And clearly that's not it. This piece of property is a gateway to the neighborhood and presents a distracting and unpleasant image for the rest of the neighborhood and affects their property values in a way that I don't think they would appreciate. Also, this applicant has had a number of violations prior to Mableton becoming a city. This case was before Cobb County and had numerous defects, including a broken fence, as you can see in the picture. Dogs have gotten out. We have gotten calls from former clients of the applicant whose dogs have gotten out, and one applicant had 3 dogs get out while she was on vacation in Europe. She had to call one of her friends to collect the dogs because they were running wild in the street. We do not think that this is an appropriate location or use for this property and recommend that you deny this application. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. As a matter of course, I will ask if there's anyone else here that wanted to speak in opposition. I know that we had one. I don't presume there's anybody else. Okay, so with that, since there's no one else, then we can close the public hearing portion of the hearing. At this time, we'll open it for discussion amongst the planning commissioners. I'm sorry. Let me back up. Okay. Yeah, so public comment portion is closed. We'll have discussion amongst the planning commissioners. We can call the applicant back, or we can call any of the community members back if we have any particular questions. I don't know, and this is open to anyone, so whenever you're ready, we can start. And that's the questions to staff as well. Where did it go? Oh. So this question is for staff.
Yes.
So the future land use is what again?
Low density residential.
And what's allowed or permitted with LDR?
So for low density residential, if let's say this property was vacant, it's only the only thing that's allowed is a single family home. But under the low density residential future designation, or I should say specifically as a single family residence, that's where I was advising in the beginning of my presentation, where typically when somebody is doing a business inside their home, we call that a home occupation. And within that home occupation, it states that they would be essentially using their office having an office space in their home. And that typically describes low density type of uses. So we're talking about administrative office where they're just doing phone calls, billing, and discussing with applicants. As far as the customers coming to their property, we allow that, but they will have to get a temporary land use prior to getting their business license. So if we're looking at services that are group lessons, such as tutoring or like dance classes, that can be allowed, but they first have to go through this process.
Okay, thank you. And the other question, so it was mentioned that I think you said either dog sitting or dog kennel is more suitable for LI or light industrial?
Yes, light industrial or heavy industrial.
Okay. If the applicant were to, how do I want to say this? If the applicant were to, let's just say, for example, withdraw and say, hey, I want to submit an application or for rezoning to light industrial, how does, what's allowable, not necessarily what's allowable, but can that work? Can the property work for light industrial?
So being that his property is a platted subdivision, which staff will still come to the recommendation that it will be a denial, even though the applicant does have a right to apply for a rezoning to LI or HI. But as far as how staff is looking at it, we're looking at what the property is currently zoned and what is rezoning to, and also looking at the future land use designation. So unless his future land use designation says it's an industrial compatible area, then staff would look at it a little bit further to see if they would recommend approval to council, to planning commission and council.
Thank you. And the floor is open for any other questions or discussion.
Mr. Ortega, can you return to the podium, please? Thank you. I was just wondering, this is a 2-year permit, and the concern is after the 2 years, what are you going to do then?
After the 2 years, by the 2 years, I will definitely have developed a plan. Right now, my plan has been to provide all the necessary documentation for this current process that we're discussing through. Part of my future plans include a greater focus on nutrition and not products delivered to me, but people can order on their own, deliver on their own.
But for the kennel, I don't think you can continue to operate the kennel out of your home. I believe it's the purpose of the 2 years is give you an opportunity to find another location outside of a residential.
Correct, which is why right now my attention has been on this current process that we're in. And once we move further along where I can clear some brain space, I will definitely work on a plan, a long-term plan for whether it's a new property or discussions of rezoning.
Okay, thank you.
This question is for staff, and I think we touched on this lightly in our work session, but I want to make sure that I ask this question for clarification. So, since this is it's pet sitting as well as kennel, there's no stipulation or cap that can be put on how many pets can be there at one time. Is that correct?
Correct.
Like say for example, once the land use permit is given, and I'm just making up a wild number, it could be 50 animals on site.
So I believe what was mentioned during the work session was the fact that when the Department of Agriculture comes out to inspect Mr. Ortega's property, they look at the square footage of where the dogs will be residing primarily throughout the day. And then that will then let him know how many dogs he can have within his property. So it's just based on the heated space of the area that he mainly contains the dogs.
And in addition to that, if the commissioners deem fit to put in the conditions that could cap how many dogs he could have, you have by all right, because it's going through the zoning process, to give your own submission on how much capacity or how much dogs you can have in this premises at any given time as an agreeable condition.
Thank you.
I have a question. So is there a difference between a dog kenneling requirement versus dog sitting?
So when we're looking at the NICS code, the National American Code for Business License, so the closest business type that he is a dog kennel facility. So when you're looking at it, as far as whether it's pet sitting or or a kennel area. If the dogs are doing overnight stays, then that essentially deems it as a pet kennel instead of a dog sitting service.
So for the kenneling requirement, is there like a number of dogs? Or is
So-
it just even if it's one?
So that is based on whatever the Department of Agriculture tells him during the time that they're inspecting his property, which is why I was stating that it's based on where the dogs are primarily out there throughout the day. So once they've done their inspection and given back the what the results or the findings that they have as far as whether he's approved to get his kennel license or he's not, because currently the applicant is operating without a kennel license.
Okay. If it was just a dog sitting business, would that fall within the zoning requirements for
Yes, so
current
as
use?
yes, so as long as he's having clients come to the property, he would still have to go through this process to be approved to be able to do the dog sitting service. It's just
Okay.
the overnight stays then turns it into a kennel service, which, as I mentioned, is only allowed in light industrial or heavy industrial areas.
Okay. I'm just wondering if he's watching 10 to 12 dogs a day, but only one or two are staying overnight, would that still require a kenneling license?
Yes.
Okay.
There was mention of code violations.
Yes.
Do we know how many?
So as of right now, at this current time, we just know of the operating without the business license and the multiple trailer and storage on the property.
Okay.
Because typically for a single family residence, you are allowed one recreational vehicle on the property and one commercial business if you're doing a home occupation or a home office at your property.
Okay. Okay. Do we have any other questions or any other discussion?
I have a question for the applicant. So while you're going through this process of getting reviews, approvals, licensing, and all of that, would you entertain the idea of foregoing the kenneling aspects of the business and just stick to dog sitting?
You mean like just daycare?
Right, just a daycare?
I can contemplate it. I can see if the figures will work so that I can pay my overhead, my mortgage, and see if that would be feasible financially.
Okay.
I don't really have a question. I just wanted to share my thoughts here. I really appreciate the letters that we've received from Mr. Ortega's customers. Sorry about that. I really appreciate the letters that we have received from Mr. Ortega's customers. I too have a dog who's a member of my family, so I fully understand your interest in having the very best for your pet, because that's my interest too. I did note that of the letters we received, only 6 identified themselves as living here in Mableton, and none of them indicated that they live close by to the property. I really believe that a kennel is too intense a business, in keeping with the staff recommendation, is too intense a business for a residential neighborhood. If I lived next door to this property, it would not be what I wanted to be next door to. The presence of a second unpermitted business doesn't provide confidence about future compliance. As has been noted, the presence of violations on this property has been made known to the applicant over a period of several years, and yet we find ourselves here today. I do believe that the business has a negative effect on the surrounding neighborhood, especially the commercial appearance of the property, is a detriment to the surrounding residential properties. It's at the entrance to a neighborhood, so that makes it particularly important. And none of this is a reflection on the business, simply on the location of the business. So I'm afraid this is not an application that I find myself able to vote in favor of when that time comes.
Thank you. Any other discussion?
Yes, I echo what Vice Chair Meyer said, that, and we've said it up here at this dais several times, we're not rezoning an applicant, we're rezoning a piece of property. And we're required to look at what benefits the neighborhood and the adjoining properties. The business may be a fantastic business. We've heard several testimonies this evening that it is such, but it's not what type of business the individual is running. It's whether or not that type of business is suitable for the neighborhood or the property that we're asked to rezone. And it just doesn't fit within a residential setting to be keeping, in this case, multiple dogs overnight, where there may be concerns that have been raised. Some have been mentioned here this evening, have happened. It just doesn't fit in that type of setting.
Thank you. Any other discussion?
I hate to say it, but I'm going to have to agree with the previous two commissioners. I have a little dog. She's 8 pounds. I love her to death. She's like my child. I would have her here with me if I could. And whenever I've traveled, I either had someone stay in my home or I've given it to a friend of mine who not running, he's just looking out, because boarding locations, I feel, are like prisons. There's concrete floors, concrete walls, and cages. And I don't want that for my pet. But I have to agree, I wouldn't want to live next door to a kennel with multiple dogs staying overnight, the barking, the things, because mine is very yappy. And I just think the location is bad. And then I've asked you twice about what is your plan when your application is over, and you have no plan. So I feel like we're going to be back here again with the same issue or the problem. Though I get it and I like it, I just can't support it. I don't think it's good for the location. I don't think you have a plan for the future. I think we're going to be here again in 2 years with the same code violations. I can't support it. I'm sorry.
Thank you. Any other discussion?
I just want to say that I share the concerns of my colleagues. You know, we want this business to succeed, and there's obvious that there's a trust between the clients and the applicant. However, the concern is that specific piece of land, and that's the only concern that I have with that location. And that's the only one I would add this one.
Thank you. Any other discussion or commentary? The only thing that I will say is to essentially echo the sentiments of the other planning commissioners. I think one of the other things that has to be conveyed, in addition to what Commissioner Valenzuela stated before, is that as a planning commission, we're not making a decision. We're not zoning the business. We're not zoning. We're not zoning the applicant. We are zoning the property. One thing that we also have to be mindful of is, precedent that we set, because someone could come behind and say, well, hey, you guys did or didn't do this for this type of application, and it's very similar to mine, so I expect the same type of result. There's a lot of conflict with regards to the application as far as the ask and the current zoning and future land use. As we heard, when it comes to a kennel type business, it's basically designated or designed to fit into an LI. And this particular property, not the applicant, this property is future land uses, was it MDR? And so that's LDR, low density residential. So that's a conflict. And for us, we try to figure out a way to make it work. But when we can't figure it out, then we're not trying to fit a square peg in a round hole. And as Commissioner Nakwi said, that there's an obvious trust that's been built between the applicant and the customers, and we are not commenting on that trust. We're not commenting on how the applicant runs his business. We're not commenting on how effective he is at running his business, or how much care he takes or attention he pays to the pets when they are in his care. Those are not the things that we have to consider. We are looking at the property and whether or not the request or the business request, if it fits for that zoning request, if it fits for that property at the current zoning as well as the future land use. So I would concur with my fellow commissioners. So is there any other discussion before we move forward? With no further discussion, then we'd like to entertain a motion on this particular application.
I make a motion that we recommend denial of TLUP 2026-005.
25.
TLUP 2025-005. I need to look at my.
Here we go.
I need to look at my paper,
Here you
right?
go. I got it for you right here.
Okay, but I think I got it done.
Yes. Okay, so let the record show we have a motion to deny TLUP 2025-004 for Commissioner Meyer. Do we have a second?
I second.
We have a second from Commissioner Davis. Any further discussion? No? All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed say nay. No opposition. The ayes have it. So again, what I will say for everyone attending is, as a planning commission, the planning commission makes a recommendation. What we recommended is not final. The applicant will have the opportunity to go before city council, make the presentation, state the case, and you as a community, you have the opportunity to do the same exact thing that you did here this evening, stand before city council and make your case. City council will make the final ruling. We're just simply providing a recommendation. So this is not the last stop. There is another opportunity to be heard. To Mr. Ortega, again, thank you for your time. We appreciate you taking time out of your day and coming back. Despite the legal snafu, we appreciate you coming back. We respect your time, and we respect the fact that you came back again to stand before us. And we appreciate the fact that you brought community members and you sent those letters of support. So we appreciate that. I think if you speak to staff, they will let you know the date. I don't know the date off the top of my head right now, but the staff will let you know the date that you'll be before city council. And again, you'll have the opportunity to make that case again. So with that, we will move to item 7. But before we adjourn, I want to make sure, do we have any other discussion points, anything from staff, legal, or planning commission that we need to make sure we hit before we adjourn? No. Oh.
Can I just real quickly ask, have we made an announcement that Mr. Wheeler is no longer zoning manager, I guess? And that is why he is not here. I don't know if that needs to be stated publicly. If anybody is reaching out to Mr. Wheeler, make sure you're reaching out to the correct staff, but Mr. Wheeler is no longer the zoning manager for the city of Mableton.
Yes, we have not made it. So yes, Mr. Chris Wheeler, our zoning manager, is no longer with the city. And so if you want to reach planning staff, to reach all staff members, please email zoning@mableton.gov. Again, that is zoning, ZONIN as in November, G @mableton.gov.
Thank you. Last but not least, thank you all for being here. Your days are full. Your calendars are full. And you have a lot of responsibilities outside of being here. So thank you guys for being here. I know it takes a toll, but thank you guys for being here. We appreciate, I appreciate you guys, your continuous collaboration and continuous effort in serving the city. So I thank you guys and I appreciate it. So with that, I'll make a motion to adjourn. And we have a second from Commissioner Valenzano. Any discussion? No discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, say nay. The ayes have it. We are adjourned. Thank you.